Brought to you by Alman Auctions, the worldwide leader in antique tractor auctions.
When one of Mike Calsum's classic tractors rolls out of the barn, there's a good chance it's not on the way to a show. It's probably going to work.
My tractors do not get put away with the cover in the corner of the shed. They earn their keep. I think it's very good for the fluids to be started up, moved around, and we utilize them on the farm. They work around here. They earn their keep and do what they were made for.
One of the workhorses on his family's farm is this 1969 Oliver 2050. This outstanding Oliver is original and unrestored.
To be honest with you, I prefer a straight original more than a restored or a above average cosmetic. To me, the originality is telling of the internal condition. It's well cared for, well maintained, and the thing that's the beauty of it is it's how it was produced in 1969. You can always give a new paint job. I call those lipstick models, but you can never go back to original. And as time marches on, original tractors, in my opinion, will be harder to come by than ones that have been restored.
This particular 2050 caught Mike's eye at an auction in 2014. He didn't win the tractor at the time, but he still kept track of it as it changed owners several times. Eventually, it ended up with a good friend in Iowa who agreed to sell it to Mike.
I knew from the time that was for sale in their auction that was a tractor that I wanted to pursue. And I wasn't able to do that in 2014, but that didn't mean that I had to lose interest or lose touch with where the tractor ended up. And so I actually followed the tractor, followed the chain of ownership, and I was eventually able to have that dream come true, which is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm thankful for that opportunity.
The 478 cubic inch Hercules engine produces 118 horsepower, which makes it powerful enough to pull most implements around the Calsum farm.
That was known as the Whisper Quiet Diesel. It was marketed as such. It's not overpowering like a GM diesel to the point you have to wear earplugs, but it has a nice soothing, what I call kind of a deep sounding lug. As an Oliver collector, I have some of each of the motors that they came out with their different models, various models, and this is my representation of the Hercules. This has a standard 6-speed forward, 2-reverse transmission with an over-under hydraulic shift, which gives you 18 speeds forward and 6 in reverse. So there's quite an offering of selection in gears. Gear offering has always been a desirability. When it comes down to farming, there's just a wide array of needed speeds. So depending on the task and the field conditions weigh in on that too. And when you have challenging field conditions, a lot of times you need to change a lot of speed quickly and fast. And a lot of times it might be speeding up or speeding down. So that offering in each gear independently of having the 3 speeds is a huge thing. So it's very versatile. If a tractor gets stuck in the mud, it's the go-to tractor to pull that out. If a vehicle goes in a ditch in the wintertime, it also, like I say, for pulling things out of places of problems, that's great too.
That Hydra shift isn't the only thing that makes this 2050 desirable for collectors. The front wheel assist on this 50-year-old tractor is hard to find on these models.
This has a mechanical front wheel assist. That was made by Clark. It's known as a Clark front end. And that gave you tons more conversion and traction when the going got tough. And that could be actuated by an activation lever just under the dash. So that was a huge asset in traction and converting the 478 cubic inch power to the ground. According to our production records, this is one of 80 built back between 68 and 1969. And I know of very few others out there. I hope there's more survivors, but it's not every day, that's a low production amount.
In addition to the front wheel assist, there were a few other features that made the 2050 unique.
A lot of the features on the 2050 were carryover from the 100 series, and the other 50 series had them as well. Those are fuel tank fenders. That was a popular option back in the late 60s. If you had an open station. Even with the cab, they were utilized, but back then they were trying to keep you out in the field all day, and so with the added fuel storage in the fuel tank fenders, you could go longer in the field between fills. It also, I'll point out, these came standard with a Category 3 3-point hitch, so you had about a 6,000 pound lift capacity, and that was beneficial for doing higher horsepower type activities.
Oliver was owned by White Motor Company during this time, and it wouldn't be too many more years before the company dropped the Oliver brand.
There was changes coming on. By 1974, the silver paint and the redesign was going to enter in, although the hard engineering and a lot of the features would remain the same, but it got rebadged with the white emblems and the cosmetics changed. But as far as engineering goes, I think this was a good time, and the reliability was there off the past engineering from the earlier models, and I think it was a sound tractor to own. In the late 60s, it was quite reliable.
The Calsum name is well known in the Oliver tractor community. Mike says they're always on the lookout for rare and hopefully unrestored models to add to the collection.
I guess at this point in my collecting career, a good clean straight original is top of the list. And I'm pretty selective right now because those are hard to come by, getting harder to find. The hunt for desirable models and always seeing what appears behind the next door, I gotta say, is part of the allure and always will be. Chasing down things and trying to see what's survived and what's out there will always be desirable and fun.